Hi guys, my name is David and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a book that I knew about. I knew about this book's existence, but I wasn't really drawn towards it. There was nothing that made me want to reach out and read this book. I didn't even really know what it was about. I just knew it was a well-known popular novel, and that is Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. The reason why I decided to pick this book up now is because a friend of mine who has a channel as well called Faceless Book Reviews, I will have his channel linked down below, did a video on this book, and that was the main reason why I thought, okay, fair enough, I will go out and try to find this book, and if I can find it, I will give it a read. So this whole video is dedicated to Faceless Book Reviews because he's the one that brought, well, he didn't really bring this book to my attention, but he was the one that gave me the encouragement to give it a try. So I will have his channel linked down below as well. He's a really cool guy. Even though he doesn't show his face, he goes on all these walks that have all this beautiful scenery around, and I like it how the way he comments and on everything. He's a really funny guy as well, so you know, I really recommend you go and check his channel out. I think that this is set in during the Great Depression, but it never really brings it up. So before I get into it, this is going to be my own thoughts and feelings regarding this book, and also this is going to be a spoiler-free video as well. I also want to touch on the fact that, yes, I know that this book is or has been on the reading list of many schools, and is probably on the list of loads of courses in literature. So if you want to get a more of a educational or side of it, or look into this book, then you're not really going to get it here. What you are going to get is somebody, just an average dude that read this book for the very first time. So what is Of Mice and Men all about? As a whole, it's a very simplistic story. There's nothing really overly complex to understand about this story. This story, I believe, was written in the 30s, so it's a very old book. But with that said, there's not really that much difference between the language that's been used. Yes, with that said, there are some words that are used in this book that I thought was a typo. I thought that the publisher put in the wrong words from time to time, and I thought, okay, fair enough, we all make mistakes. But as it went along, the wrong words were occasionally misused all of the time. I don't really think that this is a slang or an English thing. Maybe it is. It's nothing really that will take you out of the story that much. I quickly discovered figured out what the proper word was in our language now. But it's a very straightforward and easy book to read, apart from the odd misuse of words or whatever. So with Mice and Men, we start off by introduced to our two main characters, and that is Lenny and George, who are walking through the woods, and they come across a river where they go and get a drink from. The way that Steinbeck describes these two characters is very unique. Well, unique for this story anyway. George is described as being a small, average build of a man, very small, slim, timid, and he is joined by this gentleman here called Lenny, who is a much bigger and broader character. He's not overweight, he's just like massive in build. And Lenny without, I've got to be sensitive about this. Lenny has a medical condition where he is a little bit slow upstairs. Apologies if that's offended anyone, but that's the best way I can describe Lenny as being delicate as I possibly can. So Lenny reminded me a lot about Tom Cullen from Stephen King's The Stand. So if you've seen that movie or TV series, or if you've read the book, then this is pretty much what Lenny's character is. He is a like a giant, and he has a mind of a child. And I suppose that George could be interpreted as being a kind of a Nick Andros type of character. Apologies if you have no idea who I'm talking about. Them two characters come together in The Stand, and they kind of have a unique relationship and bond with each other, and that's what you get with George and Lenny. They aren't related. They are simply friends, and they are wandering around together. They are travel buddies. And throughout the book, it is mentioned how unheard of and peculiar this is, because a lot of people in this book are described as being loners and wandering around by themselves and thinking about only themselves and no one else. So for a lot of people in this book, the concept of George and Lenny travelling together is different. So Lenny has this, I wouldn't say obsession, but fixation about carrying around dead mice in his pockets and stroking them. He knows perfectly well that they're dead. He's not deluded or whatever you want to call it. He knows perfectly well that they are dead, but he likes stroking them. He likes the way that they feel. And sometimes he finds them dead on the road, and sometimes he, because he's such a big guy and so strong, he accidentally kills them with his strength. He doesn't mean to, but it's just like, yeah, I mean, us stroking, like something weak and fragile, or like an insect. We don't mean to kill it by simply touching it. It's just of our size. Lenny and George have been driven out of a farm that they used to work at. I won't say exactly why this is, but it was a kind of a misunderstanding with this farmer's daughter. So they had to basically run for their lives and flee and go somewhere else and start again. And this is what it is. Lenny and George are going to a farm where they have got a job, and they go there to work on the lands to earn enough money so they can get a farm and a piece of land for themselves, and they could live and work there and reap all the rewards that the land provides them, such as all the crops and the animals that they can raise there. And Lenny has a kind of a love for bunnies. He loves to have rabbits on this land and to stroke them. It's kind of a big thing for him. So when they are both working at this farm, they both come into contact with a wide variety of characters. One of them who is a black man, and because of this book's age, it's written in the 30s, it does drop the N-words a handful of time, guys. So if that may trigger you, then be warned about that. It's not done in a racist way. I believe it's because that's what black people were called back in the 30s and when this book was published. This black man is respected and liked amongst his fellow workers. He's never misused or hurt or anything like that. But there is a scene in this where a woman threatens this black man's life by implying that if he does this certain thing or says or does this certain thing, that he will be lynched. So it's not done in a super descriptive way, but it's kind of uncomfortable to read. So when George and Lenny are on this farm, they come in, as I said, they come into contact with a wide variety of characters, and one of these characters, well, two of these characters are both married. I can't remember their names, so please forgive me. The guy in question is kind of a rebel. He acts tough. He portrays to be a tough guy. He's not a very likable character. He's kind of a dick. And he has a wife who is constantly walking around trying to find her husband, who mysteriously always seems to move on, and then she comes and says, "Oh, have you seen my husband?" And she's portrayed as being a very over-sexualized woman. She wears all these provocative clothing, and I believe she's not at all with it upstairs, but she seems to be a okay character, I guess. And Lenny sees her, and he has a fixation about her. He keeps on thinking about her. I'm not sure whether it's love or something like that. I believe it's some sort of attraction that Lenny has towards this woman. And they both have the interaction, and I won't say what happens, but something bad does happen. Something terrible happens between Lenny and this woman. I won't say exactly what happens because it will spoil the story. But this results in George and Lenny having to come together and try to figure out what they are going to do with this terrible situation that they've landed themselves in, once again, because of Lenny's obsession with stroking soft things. And I suppose in a way he's attracted to things that are that he thinks are beautiful, and he's kind of attracted to, both visually. And what George decides to do with Lenny is a very upsetting thing, which as a result makes them go their own separate ways, these two friends. And yeah, that's basically the story. Hopefully I haven't given too many spoilers away from this book. I think I've done my best. I think I've tried to be as vague as I possibly can, but giving you enough information to tell you what this story is about. When I finished this book and when I put it down, I was thinking, okay, this was a good book, but what was the whole point? I think that this book is what is classified as a character study. It's more about the characters and their journey rather than the plot being a satisfying read. I'm trying to make sense, guys. These characters, even though George is always telling Lenny, "Oh, I would be so much better if you just went away and I just went this way and I was doing my own thing. I would be so much better if I didn't have you in my life, but I do. So, I mean, you know, that's all right." He doesn't mean anything by it. He's not being mean. He likes Lenny a lot. He has a load of respect for him. He's very protective over Lenny. And there are a handful of times where he calls him a crazy bastard. And And he says he doesn't mean anything by it. I'm like, okay. But these two characters are work so well with each other. It is such a heartwarming book, a very comforting book. Probably not going to be the best thing that I read this year, but I'm really glad that I did pick it up and give it a read. I found this one secondhand in one of my local bookshops. I nearly overlooked it as it was in the children's section. Don't know why. So I really like this book. Have you read it? What did you think about it? I wouldn't mind reading any something else by John Steinbeck. I mean, if you've got any recommendations of what else I should read from the guy, please comment down below and I will check them out. I suppose that what I'm going to rate this book, I suppose a 4 stars out of 5. This is a classic case of me picking something up that I heard about, but I didn't think that was going to be for me. And this is a prime example that you should pick up stuff that is outside of your comfort zone, because you never know, you might really enjoy it. I also went on eBay and I bought a couple of movies based on the novel. This one, which is some of the actors there. I believe that this was the first adaptation of the novel. So I'm going to watch this one tonight. And I also picked up the most recent one of this novel. So I will be watching this one as well. So after I watched both of these movies, I will do another video where I talk about these and also like compare it maybe to the book and say, right, this one was exactly like the book and this one did something different or whatever. So yeah, looking forward to doing that, guys. So that's been my video. Hopefully this hasn't gone on for too long. Once again, please don't forget to check out Faceless Book Reviews, as he's the person that encouraged me to pick up this book and give it a try. And yeah, I'll have his channel linked down below, so it'd be really easy for you to go and find him. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video, guys. If I haven't said it already, let me know, what did you think of Mice and Men? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Have you studied it in school or any courses? Was it required of you to read this book? If you haven't read this book, have I maybe encouraged you to pick it up and give it a read? With all that out of the way, I'll see you on my next video.